All right, let's get curious. So today's what if question of the day is what if everything could communicate? But before we dive deeper into that, at least as far as the way we explore it in the book of What If, it has me thinking about a lot of things related to our current situation and current events that we face today. You know, when you think about it, a lot of the problems, a lot of the issues that we're facing or we're struggling to find solutions for, when you really boil them down, not necessarily the final answer or the solution that we're looking for to solve those problems, but really where to start, right? Or how do we actually start moving forward to a solution? When you really start looking at what it is that we need or what we need to do, it comes down to communication. Heck, when you look at a lot of the problems or situations we face, a lot of them are created out of bad or poor communication. And so when you listen to this what if question, see if you can stretch your thinking and your curiosity beyond just what's in these pages and the activity that we have for you to explore, and really push yourself to see, what if we can find not just more ways to communicate, but better ways to communicate. And I'm curious to see if there's anything that you could pull from this exploration of what if everything could communicate to find solutions or insights or first steps toward a process of finding better solutions together through stronger communication, through better communication, through collaboration to really start finding global solutions for global problems or individual issues. So what if everything could communicate? From the book of What If, it says, do you ever wish that when you woke up, your breakfast was ready, your shower was warm, and your favorite music was playing? Well, what if everything were aware of everything else? Think about that for a second. What if everything, whether it's a human or not, was aware of and communicating with everything else? Well, imagine that your house watched you wake up. If you knew when you woke up, it could start playing your favorite music. If you shower in the morning, it could prepare your shower by the time you walked from your bed into it. It could prepare your breakfast. And the best part, it could save you time. So you didn't have to wake up a second before you needed to. Well, imagine you could get to school or work and your teacher or your boss or colleagues don't have to take attendance because the room knows that you're there. Maybe because of a chip in your phone, in your shoe, or even in your body. They can be aware of when you enter the room or when you leave the room. After your teacher gives a new lesson, your desk or table could show you how that lesson is connected to other things you're interested in. For example, if your teacher is talking about mathematics and you are really interested in whales, your desk or table could show you how mathematics calculate whale migration. What would you connect? What would you never want connected? So it's an interesting question because, first of all, imagine a world, whether you're going to school or you're going to work, where anytime you did something, it wasn't the end point, right? When you finished, you were never finished. It just, when you were done, it just led you to another connection. So when you were doing some kind of work or project, you look at it and go, oh, wow, this isn't just this. It connects to this thing or that thing. And hopefully something that you're curious about. And again, we use that curiosity as that energy to keep your pushing, your work pushing forward, or your learning growing on and on and on. And if we can back it out again, what kinds of things would you like to connect? Look around you, look around your room, your office, your house, your community. What kind of things do you wish could communicate with each other that currently are not right now? And what kind of things do you think should never communicate to each other, right? And whether you realize it or not, for example, cars are communicating with each other on the road. Airplanes are communicating with each other in the sky. Just because you don't hear the communication taking place doesn't mean that it's not happening. Heck, plants, animals, they're constantly communicating with each other, even if we don't understand their language or understand how or why or what they're communicating. So what kind of things, those are the two big questions. What kind of things do you wish could communicate with each other? And what kind of things you wish would never communicate with each other? And on top of that, pay attention to see what kinds of things scientists are creating to communicate with each other or to communicate better with each other. Now, we do have a short activity here for you to get even more curious with this question of what if everything could communicate. So it's called Map the Connections. Look around the space you're in right now. Write down a handful of different objects you see. Then connect a few by drawing a line and writing about how they could be connected in the future. Your imagination is your limit. So yeah, look around your room or wherever you are and take random or objects that you're particularly interested in and draw a line between the two and say, what if my notebook could communicate with my coffee mug? what would they say to each other, right? And would this even be possible in the future? And I'd be curious to see what you come up with how many different objects that you think could or should, or maybe even should not ever communicate with each other. And then if you want to push it even farther, take a step back and look what you came up with and see what can humans learn from this? What can you as an individual learn from this? When you think about objects communicating with each other, are there any like kernels or nuggets of knowledge or insights that you go, oh wow, I never thought of that. You know, when my notebook communicates with my coffee mug, it has to do X, Y, and Z. Well, heck, some of that's helpful for humans, and be really curious to see what you could come up with or what you could learn or discover about communication between humans and between communities when you're exploring the possibilities of communication between objects. So that's a lot to throw at you today and maybe even this week, right? But I always appreciate your curiosity and your enthusiasm for learning more and getting curious and seeing how far we can push what we can accomplish by using curiosity. Again, keep healthy out there, and as always, stay curious.